Let's go. Week 7 is here. Mitch, it's the midway point of the fantasy football regular season. What's up, man?
What's going on, man? Hey, do you have a lot of teams that so I have a few teams that I assumed were going to be good going into the year, and they're like 2-4, 1-5. But now some of the bad bye weeks have happened, and I'm still buying into those teams. Do you still have some like that? Or at this point, are you considering, this might be a lost season? It's time to probably move off of it.
Yeah, I have a few. And the ones that I find difficult are, and you're really putting me on the spot here. The ones that I find difficult are the ones that I've already moved my 25 first. Because it's like, well, you're not there to
Yeah.
tank at this point. You're not leveraging the fact that your team is underperforming to get an earlier pick. And I find myself digging myself a little bit deeper at times in those situations, oftentimes despite the manager that has my 25 first, for better or worse. But yeah, I have teams that I would put in that category.
Yeah, I find that if I find the ending winnings is pretty high, if it has like a higher dollar amount at the end, I'm more willing to go all in and create a worse team, in future years just for that hope at the title. It happens. All right, but we have a lot of questions.
It gets dark early. It gets very upsetting. All right, let's see. So Matt, PPR, and then an extra 0.25 for tight ends. We're going to pick two. McBride, Kittle, Achane. So McBride going against the Los Angeles Chargers, whose defense has not been that bad. George Kittle going against the Kansas City Chiefs. We're hoping that is a barn burner here at 4:00. And then we have Devon Achane going against the Indianapolis Colts. And he's coming back from the concussion, but it seems like he's all good to go. Mitch, where are you?
With 0.25, I'm going to have Achane in my lineup. I still think he's going to be the guy in that offense. Then I'm going McBride just because I think his target upside is a lot higher than Kittle's. Kittle's touchdown upside is probably a little bit higher, but I think you're just going to end up, if you play this game, did this 100 weeks, probably 80% of the time, I would say McBride's probably going to score a couple points more than Kittle. But Kittle has that 30-point range because he could get you 2 to 3 touchdowns, and McBride doesn't really have that. But if I was doing this lineup, I would go Achane and McBride.
Yeah, I'm going to go Devon Achane. The Colts, they're giving up the 13th most fantasy points to running backs. So I think they're going to rely on him still with Tyler Huntley at the helm this week. And then you have McBride versus Kittle. I will favor McBride here. Hopefully this Arizona offense can really start to click. But yeah, that's where I am too. So I'll go McBride and Achane. All right, Xavier, 12-team Superflex, start 11, 1.5 tight end premium, PPR otherwise. Downs, Pittman, JSN, we're starting 2, Mitch.
I like JSN going against that Falcons defense just because they play a lot of that cover too. So it's going to be a lot of short passes. So I like JSN there. I'll go Downs. I just think right now he's better than Pittman. I think the coaching staff trusts him more. We'll have to see what happens with Richardson this week, but I'll play Downs over Pittman.
Yeah, I'm okay with JSN here. And the Indianapolis situation, and like we talked about it last week, I put together a little heat map for Mitch and I on players of interest that I'm just guessing are going to hit a lot of the start-sit questions this week. And Downs and Pittman are there. They're going against Miami. It's not a bad passing defense, but partly I think because it's been favorable game scripts for their opponents in terms of being able to run the ball successfully, but they're giving up the second fewest points to wide receivers. So JSN will be my lineup here. Let's stick with Downs. A little callback to this last week's episode of Dynasty Theory on the DD Fantasy Football YouTube channel and podcast feed. So we'll go Downs and JSN. Jeremiah, what's up, man? PPR, Pickens or Marv? I'm going to answer this very quickly.
Please do.
I know the expectation is Russ is going to come in and start this week, and Mike Tomlin was going to keep it under wraps. But then George Pickens in an interview said that he was practicing a lot with Russ this week because the expectation was he was going to start. So way to go, Pickens. That's kind of par for the course there. But they're going against the New York Jets. They have been stingy against wide receivers. I'm going to go with Marv. And we talked about the, Chargers defense being, somewhat solid. They haven't been, looking at them on the ground versus in the air. They've been strong everywhere, but a little bit better against running backs. So maybe that gives the opportunity for Marv to do something. I just couldn't sit Marv for Pickens personally.
Yeah, no. If Sauce, you have to assume he's going to be on Pickens. If that's the case, I'm just going to go Marv. I think it's an easier matchup for him.
Ty, what's up, man? Ty and Gabe, great episode this week. The All Gas Trade Show. That was a fun one. Jordan, Achane or Pickens?
Achane. Yeah, just go with the running back there.
From Deku 25. Oh, and Mitch, I was laughing to myself. I'm hoping I don't start reading off spam posts again.
Yeah, good luck. It'll happen at some point.
I am like Ron Burgundy in Anchorman. If it's on there, I'm reading it. Mitch, you were like, no, don't read that one.
Yeah, let's skip that one.
All right, Ayuk or Tank Dell? Tank Dell, obviously Nico Collins out, and they're going against the Green Bay Packers defense. Brandon Ayuk, been a little shaky. They're going against the Chiefs. Who do you got?
Yeah, Juwan Jennings is out. So for me, I don't really like playing wide receivers against the Packers. I think the Packers actually have a really good defense. And I do think the Chiefs have a good defense. I just think that game goes a little bit higher scoring. Jordan Mason's a little bit banged up. So I think the 49ers could have to pass more. So I'm going to go Ayuk here.
I hate to not be helpful here, but I would go Tank Dell. I know. So let's go over Jeremy's
he'll break the tie
here. Break the tie over at dynastydaddy.com. Tank Dell 100%.
Whatever.
Well, there was one last week because I'm psychotic and I go back and listen to every episode that we put out once we start to see how the production's looking. And I think it was Monday last week. I went in and there was a question that you answered one way, I answered another, and then I prematurely celebrated because the Dynasty Daddy Start Sit tool also favored my side, and it was wrong, and I was very upset.
That's how it goes.
So we'll see how that one goes. But yeah, let's go Tank Dell. It's gonna have a big game. All right, Kev, what's up, Kev? Bench one of Brian Robinson, Aaron Jones, Deebo Samuels, Devontae Adams, PPR.
This one's easy for me. I don't play running backs against the Detroit Lions. This goes back 4 years now. I mean, Kenneth Walker had the big game this season, but he still didn't have a lot of attempts there. Like, running backs just don't do well against the Lions, so I'm sitting Aaron Jones.
I'm okay with that. They give up the second fewest points to running backs. Sorry, I was looking at the Minnesota Vikings there. They give up the second fewest points. Oh, the Lions give up the third least points.
Yeah, exactly.
So it could be a situation where, Detroit, they're giving up the fourth most PPR points to wide receivers. Minnesota giving up the third most.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping we get a fun little shootout there.
I think so.
Not in the question here. And I'm going to bench Aaron Jones too, coming back from the injury. My only thing is, like, Devontae Adams just coming into town.
Oh, I don't care. Like, I'm playing him. I'm happy to play him.
He's back with his best buddy.
Yeah, he's going to get 8 targets this game. They might be bad targets, but he's going to get at least 8.
The Steelers defense, primetime matchup. It is supposed to be a beautiful night, though, here in Pittsburgh.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
So
that's just swell.
We'll see how that goes. It's going to be a lovely one, but let's bench Aaron Jones. All right. Here's one from Dom. What's up, Dom? Can I ask you something about the auto sub feature? Yes, you may. It's like, no. Bye.
You
Do you
cannot.
use
Thank
it in
you,
your
though.
leagues? And if so, do you use the setting that you can only sub players that start at the same time or after?
So yes, I use it in my leagues. I really haven't had a spot to where I've had to do it. I think there was like week 2, there was a player that was kind of iffy. I'm using it a lot for Cooper Cup this week. But I like doing it only sub players that start at the same time. I'm not a huge fan of the ones that start after.
Yeah, and it's tough because the big thing that we've talked about in the past, and a lot of people have talked about this because it's
Mhm.
the biggest issue. It's whenever you have Thursday night players, Sunday players, and then you have that Monday night guy or that Sunday
Mhm.
night guy that's questionable, and you're like, I don't know if I should play them. Well, your options are limited. So it's not like you can, if you can't start a player that started earlier,
Mhm.
it really doesn't change anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like if you're busy or, time zones with, folks over, different parts of the world, that's an easy, yeah, to use the auto sub feature. But I'm with Mitch. I haven't used it. I used it once, I think, just to use it, but I don't think the player was ever subbed in because my player
Yeah.
played. I don't know. But
I think the
yes,
thought behind it is great, but the amount of usefulness it has is like 5% out of the season. It's great that they have it. I love how Sleeper keeps adding things and please keep adding things, but this just isn't. I think everyone made this kind of a big issue week 1 when it came in, and now like no one really talks about it anymore.
well, because I think they fixed a few of the
Yeah,
bugs.
they did.
Uh, the one was it locked a player.
Hmm.
So if you had player A
As
and
an auto sub.
as an auto sub for
Yeah.
player B and player B played, then player A is locked. So
Yeah.
even if they were like Monday night, you couldn't get them in. So I know that was something that popped up in our leagues. We had changed it just that once, but then immediately after Sleeper updated it because of complaints and suggestions, probably more so complaints. But then are you in any that allows you to do it prior? Like if you have a Sunday player or a Monday player that's questionable, you can
Mhm.
do a Sunday sub. I don't think I have any like
Not
that.
off the top of my head. No.
Yeah, and that I know a lot of people have an issue with that because it's like it takes away the the variance and when you're playing in lineup leagues, it's like embrace that variance.
Yeah.
And otherwise people are like just play best ball. So I get it to an extent. But as long as everybody's playing with the same league settings and the same rules across the board and everybody's aware, deal with it. You
Yeah, it
know?
all evens out.
Um but yeah, Dom. So to answer the question, I wanted to dig in a little bit there. But yes, a lot of them use it. And they're at same time or after. Yeah. All right. From George. PPR 1.5 for tight ends. You got to pick one.
Yeah.
Pittman, Pitts, or Chase Brown.
You know what? I'm gonna go Pitts.
Chase Brown's going against Cleveland.
Yes. I
Pitts
think
is going against Seattle. And then Pittman, we talked about going against Miami. All right. Sorry to interrupt, Mitch.
No, you're great. You're great. So it's Pitts for me. Pitts has been showing up each week. I mean, he's been doing enough now to where I think he's a decent starter at tight end. That's a pretty big premium at 1.5. And I know we think Chase Brown is taking over that backfield from what we saw last week. I want to give it one more week before I'm just a solid, hey, Chase Brown is the play here in a huge tight end premium league.
Okay. Yeah, I can live with Pitts. All right. Jared, 6-point passing touchdown, 25 completion bonus, 300-yard bonus, start 2. All right. We got Joe Burrow against the Cleveland Browns, Geno Smith against the Atlanta Falcons, and then Jared Goff against the Las Vegas Raiders.
What a position to be in. These are all like easy top 8 guys this week. Just with how the Lions, I know the Vikings are very good against the rush, but we can see the Lions score some short yardage rushing touchdowns to where Bengals, who knows, we see Higgins and Chase getting a lot of those. That Atlanta Falcons, I could see Geno throwing for a couple. So I just think the touchdown upside is a little bit higher with Burrow and Geno than it is with Goff, but they all could end up hitting that 300-yard bonus. I'm going to say Goff this week.
That's your sit.
Yeah, that's my sit. Yep.
So to answer the question,
Burrow and Geno.
Technically, if we're going to start 2, Burrow and Geno, just in case there was any confusion.
Good.
Did we answer this one?
Mm-hmm. You went Tank, I went Ayuk.
There you go. All right. Here's Dan. Chargers getting eaten up by tight ends. The Cardinals comment. Okay. I was like, Dan's just throwing out random facts. Dan's like, the human head weighs 8 pounds. All right. Oh, Mitch, you're focused today. I can't even get.
I was reading. So I was fact checking Dan. I don't want to correct him, but I mean, fantasy points against the Chargers are dead even against tight ends. They're 15th. I didn't want to fact check, but then you brought it out by like how intense I was being on the other screen. Didn't want to do it, but it happened.
I try to get a reaction. If I can get a smile from
I was busy at the time.
It's a win. I mean, like half the things that's generous. I was gonna say half the things I say, Mitch doesn't even hear.
Probably
might be 75%.
Yeah.
All right, Rye, what's up, man? Good luck to you too. What are your thoughts on Goodson? Here's the line on who you would. Where is the line on who you would start over him today, and who would you bench him for?
The line is that 85% of fantasy players I'll start over him this week. I just don't think Anthony Richardson is going to throw him the ball a lot. And Sermon is playing. I thought Goodson was going to be a pretty decent play once I thought Sermon was out. But now that Sermon's playing, Goodson isn't going to be in any of my leagues. Like you tell me Goodson or Justice Hill, I'll play Justice Hill every single time over someone like Goodson.
And that was where the conversation went last week whenever we thought Anthony Richardson was playing to start the episode, because all signs looked like he was going to be playing.
Yep.
Goodson was a player that we weren't really looking at. And then once it shifted and we knew Flacco was going to be starting, then it was kind of like, okay, Goodson might be a viable option in PPR, get some checkdowns. But running back 40, 45, 50, somewhere in that range. Like, I think that's fair. So desperation. And trust me, I'm looking at some of my lineups. I'm like, I would kill to have Tyler Goodson in there, even projected at running back 40. So thanks for the question, Rye. Appreciate it. All right. From Cats took over. Oh, I'm allergic to cats. I don't like this one. Start 1 running back and 2 flex. Kenneth Walker, if healthy. Sharbs, if not. Achane, Amari Cooper, JSN, Tank Dell. So we need 3 with one, at least one being a running back. Can we take Amari Cooper out from the jump?
Yeah, I'm not picking Amari.
All right, so let's take him out. And
for
then
me, it's pretty easy. I'm going Kenneth Walker. I think right now he's on a better offense than what Achane's in. Once Tua comes back, I'll have more of that conversation with Achane, but I'm going to go Kenneth Walker and then JSN and Tank Dell. So you're going to sit Sharbs and Cooper and Achane, of course.
Let me get over here. Let me see. The big one for me, it's the Achane versus the JSN.
Yeah. I mean, Kenneth Walker's Dan brought it up on the show last week. I think he has 8 catches or 10 catches in the last 2 games. If he's getting third down work, like you don't bench Kenneth Walker, especially going against a Falcons defense.
Oh, no. I'm good with Walker. If Walker is in the lineup, they're playing.
Oh, you're saying HN over JSN or Tank Dell? I get it.
So I would go Walker. You and I don't think we ever see eye to eye in any JSN question.
Probably. I like JSN this week. I really do.
You like him every week.
Sometimes. Me and my 0% rostership of him.
Right. It's easy then. Yeah. Let's go Kenneth Walker. Going against the Atlanta Falcons.
You know what? You're right. It's Achane, then probably Tank Dell. I'll agree with you on
that ceiling is so high for Achane.
No, you're right.
All right, Cats.
You win.
Let's let's go Kenneth Walker, Achane, Tank Dell, locked and loaded. All right, THB, Marv or Garrett Wilson, half PPR.
Marv.
I'll go Marv too. Again, like this is just one of those situations with the New York Jets now going against the Steelers defense, who, when you look at the wide receivers, they're, a top 10 defense in terms of fantasy points giving up to wide receivers. And then just the addition of Devontae Adams, we don't know what that dynamic is going to be. And Garrett Wilson has been fantastic. Like, we talked about him on a weekly episode a few weeks ago, talking about looking to pivot off of him. And he's like, JB, shut the hell up, dude.
Well, so
and he goes out there and drops 2 absolute bombs. So like, with all that said, I'm going to go Marv. It's still a tough matchup against the Chargers, but
that's Marv.
I'm going to go Garrett Wilson. Everything I just said.
No,
I'm going to go Garrett Wilson.
It wasn't there. I'd do it. I know what Rodgers is going to do Monday Night Football with Adams coming in. I'm
Sunday Night Football.
Is it tonight?
It is tonight.
Oh,
I'm getting deja vu. The same thing happened last week.
Same thing.
Monday night.
Yep. Happens.
All right. Well, Jeremy's going to hit us here with the truth on the Dynasty Daddy Start Sit tool. Let's see. Garrett Wilson, if I could type. Garrett Wilson and Marv. Garrett Wilson, hundo, 100%.
Yeah, I'm not worried. I'm right on this one. Go Marv.
All right. From Tommy, Marv or Brandon Ayuk?
Brandon Ayuk for me. This is going to be one of his blow-up games.
I'll go Brandon Ayuk as well. Shane, what's up, man? Singletary or Tracy? Another duo I had on the sheet here, Mitch.
I'm going Singletary. I am. I know they're saying, hey, he earned more of a role in this offense. I get it, but this is one of those, like, the coaching staffs all love Singletary. They all do. They always have, going back to Buffalo. And they're always like, oh, we're going to bring in people to help him. And then he ends up getting like a 70% snap share. I'm just going to go Singletary. Although I don't love the matchup going against the Eagles. I don't really like either of them this week.
Yeah, I'll go Singletary based on the expected workload. I still don't know if it hits like 60-40%. So yeah, I'll go Singletary. All right, CP, half PPR, need 2. Gibbs, Hunt, Mason, Garrett Wilson, Deontay Johnson.
Okay, so Gibbs is in, right?
Gibbs is in. And then even half PPR, I would go Deontay.
I'm going Hunt. Hunt's getting like a 70% like rushing market share. And if they get into the red zone, I mean, we know Kansas City likes to throw the ball. As soon as they get in the red zone, they're usually the highest passing offense when they do that. I'm going to go Hunt, because if they do run one in, it's going to be Hunt that gets it. So I'm going Gibbs and Hunt. Deontay's a great play this week too, though.
Gibbs, we're in agreement. I'm going to stick with Deontay. I think this is going to be a bounce back game going against that Commanders defense.
He was fine last week.
Was he fine? 2 weeks ago. It was 2 weeks ago that was the disaster. 2 weeks ago was the so Gibbs, I'm okay sitting Mason. Kansas City, they give up the fewest points to running backs across the league. And then who was our other guy? Garrett Wilson, again, just not really knowing, but still taking him over Marv. Mitch nodding along. He doesn't even know. All right, Jeremy. Goodson, Mostert, Hopkins, half PPR.
All right, John, tell me. Mason Rudolph is starting. Does that make a change for you on the whole Hopkins, Ridley, that offense as a whole? See, I'm asking this more for me because I want to play Tony Pollard in DFS, and I wasn't going to do it if Will Levis is a starter because Will Levis is awful. But what if Rudolph gives him just a little bit more? Just enough to be competent.
If we're looking at a split between the passing game and the rushing game today, I prefer the rushing game, and I prefer Pollard, just like by comparison, with the expectation that they're probably going to be able to run the ball a little bit better than maybe looking to pass, and we could get Pollard in some dump off situations. and Tyjae Spears is out. So,
Mhm.
yeah. But back to the question at hand, I would go.
Hopkins.
Oh, man.
It's Hopkins.
Half PPR. Miami's going against the Colts. Might be a lower scoring game. They give up some points to running backs. I would go Mostert. So Goodson is out. We're saying that. And then let's go Mostert or Hopkins in half PPR. And it's only fitting, since Jeremy asked the question, to go over to Dynasty Daddy. I'm not sure if he's heard of that website. Let's see. 83% Raheem Mostert and half PPR, but it's like all within a point.
Close. Yeah.
Like,
that's
so
quite a bit. Yeah, I'm
yeah.
going Hopkins, man.
Okay. Yeah, that's wrong, but we'll go Mostert. All right. Koogski, what's up? Good problem to have. Pittman, Worthy, or Pickens for the last flex spot, full PPR.
Worthy.
Like, you're either getting a 0 or you're getting 25.
His target share went up quite a bit last week. His snaps are doing well. I think he's going to be okay.
Like, he doesn't have a game with more than 3 receptions
yet. Just wait. It's going to happen. No, I'm going Worthy. Where do you go, Pickens here? I'm not going Pickens against Sauce. You can say I'm right. It's okay.
And then who do we have? The Colts and Dolphins, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to go Pittman.
Okay.
So I would go Pittman, Worthy, and then Pickens. That would be my order. All right. Mooney or Juju? I'm bouncing back here with I was gonna say Mooney, but like it's so gross that we're considering Juju again.
Hey, if Juju didn't have the hamstring issue, I would be 100% on Juju. With hamstrings, I'm willing to go with just the wide receiver that doesn't have that right now in Mooney. But I mean, if Juju was completely healthy, I'd be picking him this week.
All right, let's go Mooney.
So it's Mooney. Yep.
Cover your ears, old Juju. Cover your ears back there. Mo Diesel, start one, half PPR. Judy, Amari Cooper's gone. Trey Tucker, Devontae Adams is gone. Josh Palmer, they throw the ball 3 times a game, or Tutu Atwell. And let's rank them.
You're kind of bossy, Mo Diesel. Just saying. Just saying. Just playing.
Rank them, damn it.
So it's Judy, Trey Tucker. It's pretty much in the order they're in. I mean, Judy, Trey Tucker, Palmer, and then Tutu. No, flip Tutu and Palmer for me.
And then we got Trey Tucker.
It's just the Raiders have no one to throw to. I mean, he could end up getting a 0 again. But someone has to catch balls there, right? They can't all go to Brock Bowers.
I agree. Let's go Judy, Trey Tucker, Tutu, and then Palmer.
Okay.
All right. All right. From Jesus or Jesus, full PPR, Darnell Mooney, Juju, Aaron Jones for a flex spot. So we know Mooney over Juju.
Yeah, it's Mooney. It's just I'm not playing Aaron Jones coming off the injury this week, going against the Lions defense. That's always good against running backs. It's Mooney.
All right. From Michael, Achane, Hunt, or Brian Robinson, 0.5 PPR.
Gonna go Hunt here.
Any situation where it's a ceiling versus floor play? Like
the problem is, I think Hunt's ceiling is just as high as Brian Robinson's. If Brian Robinson's healthy, this is a completely different discussion. But we have a lot of these running backs who have been limited in practice this whole week. A healthy Brian Robinson, I'm playing him over both these guys.
Kenneth Walker is active, by the way.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Al. I'm like, no.
No. Kenneth Walker is active, just to let everybody
know. So I'm going to go, if I rank them, I would go Hunt, Achane, then Brian Robinson. If they were all healthy, I would go probably Brian Robinson, than Hunt than A-Chain this week.
I like the Commanders. Somebody's putting up points in that backfield today against Carolina.
Oh, 100%. And
I
he
have
could have 3
Eckler.
touchdowns. Yeah.
What was that?
Brian Robinson can have 3 touchdowns. It could easily happen.
What's that prop on that? I wanna find that. The
Give me
odds
a
on that. I'm gonna go Brian Robinson here, actually. I just think the Carolina Panthers giving up the most points to running backs across the NFL. I couldn't pass on him right there. All right, so all officially active: Aaron Jones, Kenneth Walker, Michael Pittman, Josh Downs, Alec Pierce. I laugh because the entire Colts receiving core is in that list. Dontavian Wicks and Ray Davis, they're all active.
Yeah. So Brian Robinson, this is just an underdog. To get 1 touchdown, you get 0.92 times. 1.5 touchdowns, you get 2.6, and then 2.5. So if you go for the 3, it's 13.47 times the amount you put in. So put in $10, you win 130 if you match it on the other side. It's not bad.
I feel like I would need higher odds though for 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, I know, right?
That seems kind of stingy.
A little bit. I don't do touchdown props often.
What is it if I won 4 touchdowns?
Doesn't have it on there. Yeah. It only goes up to 2.5.
Man, this is the 4 touchdown Brian Robinson day. And I'm flexing a lot of Austin Eckler, so maybe he could be sprinkled in there for something.
There
too.
you go.
And a few of them being passes from Jaden Daniels.
Okay.
All right, from Alex, start 2 of the 3.
My Lord. There you go, dude. I helped you. There was no players listed.
I told you. I just threw the comments up.
It was going to happen.
All right, from Alex, start 2 of the 3. This is full PPR.
Mm-hmm.
Jordan Whittington, Noah Brown, Alexander Madison. I would go.
Just sit Madison.
I can't quit him. You know I love him.
I don't know why. Of all the NFL players, he'd be pretty low on my list.
I would go. Oh no, Jameis Winston's inactive today. Well, I'll go Alexander Madison and Jordan Whittington.
Do you think that's to stop the Cleveland Browns fans from chanting in the stands, "We want Winston"? If they just sit him and have him not even be at the stadium, then they're like, you know what? The fans can't chant that today.
I would not put that past them. And actually, speaking of theory, here, answer this question from Alex first.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I already did. Sit Madison.
I would sit Noah, Alex. I would sit Noah. Before we get to the next question, the thought crossed my mind. So Russell Wilson is healthy, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a primetime game. All eyes are going to be on the Steelers and the Jets. It's a tough defense. They want to give Russell Wilson the chance. He was named the starter. Give him the chance. Justin Fields maybe didn't do enough so you could justify it. But is it crazy to think that let's throw Russ out there against the Jets defense, let him get smoked, show that he sucks, and then let's get Fields back in there. I threw a third out, or actually it was offered to me, a cold offer. I got Justin Fields in a 12-team Superflex for a third. Oh, and I was like, I'm fine paying that price. Yeah. If nothing ever happens, I just think there's a decent chance. And I have so much Russ across my Dynasty portfolio. Yeah. So I really hope I'm wrong on that. But just playing devil's advocate, just thinking out loud, I don't know. It's a tough matchup. And then the schedule lightens up a little bit, but it's going to be very interesting. Now, if Russ goes out and smacks the Jets defense and, it's all moot, but
not really, because even moving forward, that Fields is going to be a good backup quarterback for whatever team he plays for, because the second he's a starter, people are going to want him in fantasy. So paying a third for that this year, even if it pays out week 6 next year, that's worth it.
Sorry, it's all moot in terms of my conspiracy theory.
Yeah. No, I got you.
All right. Let's see here. So let's go. All right. From Wallbang. Mm-hmm. Sit 1. Ayuk, Pickens, or Wandale full PPR. We haven't had a Pickens question yet. They're going against the Eagles, who are giving up a lot of points to receivers.
We haven't had a Wandale question yet. Yeah.
What did I say?
Pickens. We've only had Pickens questions, but that's okay.
I meant to say Wandale.
Yeah, you're good. Yeah, I'm sitting Wandale as well.
Oh, I'm not sitting Wandale.
Oh, I'm sitting Wandale.
I'm going to sit Pickens.
All right. I
No,
think
here's
that's
the thing.
fair. I really think it's fair.
Here's the thing, though. Like the stuff that Pickens excels at,
Mm-hmm.
Russ has historically excelled, getting the ball outside the numbers, deep down
Yes.
the field, finding those receivers that maybe they're not necessarily creating separation, but he's going to give you the chance of the 50-50 ball.
Mm-hmm.
Is this me talking myself into Pickens? No, because I think Wandale is still going to have a good game, even with Malik Neighbors back.
Can Wandale win a 50-50 ball?
I mean, probably not. And any ball that's 50-50 going towards Wandale is probably like a 10-90 ball.
Yeah.
Let's see. Dan giving some commentary on the game. Here we go. CP. 0.5 PPR. We need one. Stroud or Kyler. Full PPR might change that, but half PPR, who you go with, Mitch?
I'm going to go Stroud. I know Kyler has the good rushing upside, but they both going against tough defenses. I'm going with the better quarterback here in Stroud.
And I just think, we look at implied totals and the over-unders. Yeah. That Houston game.
They are expected to score one more point than the Cardinals.
Then 48.5 for the over-under. I'm actually surprised the over-unders are that close.
Yeah.
But yeah, I also would go Stroud. And then, again, half PPR, Amari Cooper, Devontae Adams, Tracy. Need two. Oh, my God. This is like it. Switch teams. Starting running back coming back.
I'll sit Cooper this week.
I'm good with that.
Yeah.
All right. Lockett against the Atlanta Falcons or Wandale the Whale.
I'm going Wandale here. I think Lockett's ceiling is probably what Wandale is going to score on average most weeks.
Oh, you're upsetting Shane.
No,
he and I got
this wouldn't be the first time.
Yeah, but you upset everybody.
I know. I mean, it's fair. Yeah,
you do. All right. Dalton or Daniel Jones? Daniel Jones.
Randy Dalton.
Does quarterback scoring in this league matter at all for you?
It would. Yeah. I mean, +6, I'm going Dalton for sure. +4 probably leans a little bit more to Daniel Jones.
I'm going to go Daniel Jones across the board. Yeah. I'm going to go Daniel Jones.
We're being so helpful today. This is great.
I know. And then over Dynasty Daddy, let's see what the start sit tool there says.
I think that one's +4, right? The tool itself.
I think.
Yeah.
Andy Dalton. 50-50.
That's great.
All right. So, and I apologize if I butcher this. Lemine, maybe. No help at all. But if you believe in Mitch, if you want to go to the dark side, Andy Dalton. But, you want the crack pick, go Daniel Jones. All right, Geist. Always appreciate you. I think you popped in pretty much every single week, so we appreciate that. Half PPR for running backs, full PPR for wide receivers. The highest upside play, Kareem Hunt, Darnell Mooney, Tyler Lockett.
Darnell Mooney is the upside play for sure for me. With there being a full half-point difference for running backs and wide receivers. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Mo. Addison or James Conner for flex PPR. I want every receiving option in that Minnesota-Detroit game.
I'm the same. Like I said last week, you don't sit James Conner, but this is one of the weeks that I think I'm actually going to sit James Conner for Addison.
I mean, again, talking about that Arizona-Los Angeles game, the Chargers' run defense has been solid. They've been really solid. I'm going to go Addison here.
Yep.
And then didn't even read the next comment. I'm just a bit concerned on Cards always laying eggs on primetime games in that stout Chargers defense. Mo, 100% agree.
Yep.
All right. Ban. Darnold versus Detroit or Richardson versus Miami. Oh.
Dude, this is tough. So this is honestly, I mean, like I'm playing some DFS this week, right? They're really close. So it's for me, I keep bouncing back and forth on these two because I think Darnold can do great, but he has to hit that 300-yard bonus in order for it to work. But Richardson can get there just based off rushing. So I'm going to go Richardson.
I would go Darnold.
No, I mean, I completely get it. But I mean, we drafted Richardson to be this good. And I know he had the first couple weeks that he wasn't, but then he got injured. Then he was injured. He's had a couple weeks to get healthy. Maybe it helped him because, I mean, he was good fantasy-wise early last year. Maybe just watching Flacco helped him just settle down a little bit, knowing like, hey, I don't have to do everything. I'm going Richardson.
But as crazy as it sounds,
especially in PPR, I mean, yeah.
We might see a Indianapolis special.
Could happen.
I as crazy as it sounds, I just think Darnold's ceiling in this matchup, it's there. And I think the floor is far safer. I
don't know floor-wise, to be honest. We saw what happened with Dak last week.
Yeah, that's because the Cowboys suck. Sorry, Dan. Love you.
I mean, yeah.
I'm still Darnold.
To hit on Dan here, the issue is that low Vegas total also had the Patriots not scoring a lot of points last week, and that's what helped me win a lot of DFS. So maybe they're wrong. Just putting that out there.
You are so petty.
I'm feisty today.
Yeah, you are feisty. Ever since your Drake May victory lap, he hasn't done.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, 6 for 7, and now I don't think he's completed 3 passes for the rest of the game. It's been great.
All right, Carlos, full PPR. Ooh. Start 1. Christian Watson versus the Texans. 2-2 Atwell, and 2-2 is going against the Raiders.
If I thought that Rams game was going to be a little bit closer, I would probably go 2-2. I just think there's a chance to where Blake Corum is actually a decent play this week because the Rams are just going to get up by 14 and then they're going to run all over the Raiders. So I'll go Christian Watson in just the higher scoring game this week.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a huge Kyren Williams day out there against the Raiders. So that's my thought as well. Hey, if anybody hasn't had a chance to go over to ddfantasyfootball.com, use code Theory, half off for the first month. There's all the fantastic comment within the Discord exclusive content. And then just nonstop conversations 24/7. And then the Trinity tool that Mitch and I have talked about pretty much every single week, Dan as well, over at ddfantasyfootball.com, the War Machine. So there's a lot of great stuff. Go check it out. 50% off. And it's not even Thanksgiving time yet. It's not even Black Friday.
Hey, real quick. What? I have some questions. We're halfway through the show. So this is when I'm going to talk about a couple underdog plays. You tell me. So I have 4 of them. You tell me if I should make this. I already actually have one, but it's okay. You could just tell me to make another one if you want. Okay. Judy over 47.5 receiving yards.
I think that's going to be super close.
You got to pick one. You could say no, and I'll take it off the list. I like it, though.
Let's keep it. Keep it.
Okay.
Over.
Okay. Then we have Jameson over 49.5 yards. Jameson Williams.
Say it again. I was reading Dan's comment.
49.5 receiving yards. I think I said passing, but receiving yards.
Oh. Over.
Yep. Same there. And now I don't love this one with it, but David Montgomery, for whatever reason, his rushing totals have been really low, and it's like super easy to hit him each week.
I know.
48.5 rushing yards over under. Going against a pretty stout Vikings defense, but the Lions are the Lions.
I don't like this one.
Okay, we'll take that one off. And then the other one is Tyreek over 56.5 receiving yards going against that horrible Colts defense.
That could be one play. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So then we're going to go with the 3-fer. We're going to go Judy over, Jameson Williams over, and Tyreek over. All need just, I mean, if they all hit 57 yards, it's another dub. And we hit them all last week for everybody who, I don't even remember what they were, but we hit them all.
Another dub. We need Jameis Winston there eating those W's.
Hey,
All right.
if he was playing this week, he would probably be on the list.
All right, Hayden, what's up, man? Which of these 3 players should I start? Mason, Chuba, Cook, probably James Cook, right?
Yeah.
Brian Robinson, J.K. Dobbins.
I already have my answer.
So which of these 3 players should I start? I am going with Chuba.
Every week starter. You never
I'm
take
going Chuba. I'm going Brian Robinson. And I'm going. I actually like Dobbins this week.
Oh, I love Dobbins. Yeah, that's exactly who I'm picking. It's Chuba, Robinson, and Dobbins.
All right, there we go. Here it is. This is it. Let Chubb play QB.
It wouldn't
He's
be
back.
any worse. Yeah.
Why not? What do you have to lose? Fields to Las Vegas?
That'd be fun.
That'd be pretty good. All right, Joe Burrow. What's up, Dubo? Sam Darnold or Joe Burrow? We talked about this Vikings-Lions matchup, and typically when we hype up a matchup, there's going to be a dud that delivers. Nice 13-10 matchup there, Mitch.
I'm going Sam Darnold.
Burrow against the Browns. Yeah.
That game could just turn ugly.
I'm going to go Sam Darnold too. I like that. DJ, full PPR, start 1. Aaron Jones or Jordan Mason. It's like a battle of the
injured guys, yeah.
Slightly healthier.
Yeah, injured guys going against good defenses. Jordan Mason, I guess.
I'll stick with Jordan Mason here too.
Yeah,
so just
don't love that one though.
Full fade Aaron Jones this week. And I like. Full disclosure, I am benching a lot of shares of Aaron Jones across my Dynasty portfolio. All right. Darnold.
Did you just skip that one for the fun of it?
Oh, I would have. I did not. Listen.
You're like, you know what, Thomas? We're not answering. We'll answer everything else. You're out, man.
Never liked that name, Thomas. Sorry about that. Kincaid or Bateman, non-PPR, or could throw in Ty Chandler. Let's get Chandler out of there, even though it's non-PPR. I don't want him. Kincaid or Bateman. Ravens are going against the Buccaneers, hoping that's a high-scoring game. Yeah. Kincaid, the addition of Amari Cooper. We don't know what that dynamic's going to look like. Tennessee's defense is solid.
Yeah.
Bateman?
I'm going Bateman, a higher scoring game. I mean, Kincaid can get there. He hasn't got there yet this year. So I'll go Bateman. Did we have this one?
Well, I just had it up here. So
I think so. I'm going Richardson. Yeah, we had that one previously.
Wait a minute. I'm not even kidding. I'm sitting here thinking, who the hell is Richard? Jeez, I need more coffee. I've had a ton already.
See, that's why I have a rock star whenever we do this, or today a Red Bull.
My heart would be ripping out of my chest here. All right, Drake May threw a touchdown
to Pop
KJ Osborne.
Actually,
all right, Cliff. What's going on, Cliff? Always appreciate you. B-Rob, Hunt, or Singletary? Pick one.
Hunt.
Brian Robinson still.
Yeah, I mean, if he's healthy, man, I'm going to Brian Robinson every time. You know what? I'm going to go back and say Brian Robinson. I mean, he was shot and came back and played like 5 weeks later. Why am I worried about him being injured? Let's go Brian Robinson.
I stubbed my toe 2 years ago and I still can't walk right. All right, Travis. Christian Watson or Michael Pittman?
Michael Pittman.
All right. Garrett, boys, am I going Juju or Pittman?
Juju. I don't like playing wide receivers with hamstrings, but when it's that kind of a matchup, I'll go Juju.
Don't we want our wide receivers to have hamstrings though?
Not if they're injured.
I'm going to go Pittman.
Okay.
Here.
I like how you said that after you looked it up on Daddy. Yeah.
I had to check with Daddy. But here, this might make it easier for us.
I'm going Hunt.
Sorry, Hunt, Pittman, or Juju.
Hunt.
All right.
Yeah.
And then Hunter, Aaron Jones.
Hunt and point per carry for sure.
Full PPR from Greg, Aaron Jones or Chase Brown.
Chase Brown.
Yeah. Dude's got it.
Appreciate it, man.
Hit the like button. If you're watching live, if you appreciate the content, it helps us out. And I know you're already subscribed to the channel. So just hit that like button while you're here. All right, Garrett. Garrett's like rapid fire over here right now.
He's like, let's go.
2-2 or Worthy?
Worthy.
Hammer. Tracy or Goodson?
Tracy.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Oh,
this
defense question. What is that? What is that D word? Green Bay or Indianapolis?
So I think Miami could just run a lot more. So with the defenses, you're always looking for the touchdown upside, in my view. Stroud is going to throw the ball, which is going to lead to more pick six chances. Not that he throws a lot of pick sixes. It's just, I think there's a higher likelihood of it happening for the Packers than the Colts this week.
Sure. That sounds good
like, to me. Man, I don't play anything with defenses.
That sounds good to me. All right. Alex, Marv or Mooney?
You do this one.
I'll go Mooney, actually.
Yeah, I'll go Mooney too.
It really is just a tough matchup. And like Marv had that get right game a couple weeks ago, right? And like
it's like 3 weeks ago, I think, because I think the last time he was out, he didn't do very well.
The big game. Now he had a couple decent games, but Packers got hurt. 49ers the week prior. I think the range of outcomes. I like Mooney's opportunity here to have a little bit higher of a floor, and then the ceiling probably not as high, obviously, but I still think it's a somewhat high ceiling. So I'll go Mooney. Are you okay with that?
Yeah, definitely.
All right. So now that we have a moment, some of the players that I want to throw out that I thought we might get some questions on, we haven't gotten any at this point. But Mahomes against San Francisco, that's an okay matchup, and we know that Patrick Mahomes hasn't been exactly fantastic. Daniel Jones against Philadelphia, I'm firing up Daniel Jones. Stafford against Vegas. So Las Vegas, they give up the 8th most points to opposing quarterbacks. But we've already talked about this game and the potential that it's maybe a little bit lower scoring, and the Rams jump up early and they just run the ball. So if you have the opportunity to bench Matthew Stafford in any super flex or 2 quarterback formats, are you?
Yeah. I mean, if I could get off of him, I would. I really think if the Rams were playing someone good this week, Kupp would be playing. I think they're looking at, we could probably sit him for one more week against the Raiders and be okay. I mean, they're 7-point favorites. They have the second highest, line on the slate this week next to the Buffalo Bills going against the Titans. So, yeah, I think if you could sit Stafford, I would do it this week.
All right. From Dew, are we confident in Brian Robinson today? I mean, if Brian Robinson's active, I'm playing him.
Yeah, I mean, they're both hurt. Mason's shoulder's probably going to be all right, but who's going to score more touchdowns today? Mason going against the Chiefs or Brian Robinson going against the Panthers, who can't stop anybody? And Washington has by far the highest employee total. They're over 25 points. The next highest is the Falcons at 27. It's Brian Robinson.
Wait, what did you say? Oh, Washington over 30. You said 25.
Did I?
Yeah.
I don't think that happened.
That's all you and I do is correct every error.
I don't think that's what happened. No.
Go back and listen. Check the tape.
I don't care enough to check. That's the thing.
If you're in the chat, did Mitch just say 25 for Washington? I heard 25, unless I'm losing my absolute
odds are it's you, not me.
All right. That's always me. All right. From Rob, Deontay, Marvin Harrison, Alec Pierce. I think it's 2 questions here.
Okay. Yeah.
The and
So
being in the middle makes
we
me.
might as well just rake him at this point, to be honest.
All right, let's rank Deontay, Marvin Harrison, Alec Pierce. I'm okay with that order.
I'll go in that exact order. Yep.
And then Najee, Mixon, Mason. I
I'll
would
go.
flip.
Go
I
ahead.
would flip Mixon.
And Mason.
Oh,
You're gonna
you would
go
have Mixon
Mixon?
last?
Oh no, sorry, no. It's Mixon, then Najee, then Mason. You're right. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
All right. I'm okay with that too. All right, Garrett, would you start Godwin or Kelsey over Justin Herbert in a flex? Oh,
No.
I have such
No.
a hard time, for better or worse, benching a quarterback.
Yeah,
in
no,
the
I'm not
super
doing
flex
it.
spot.
No, Herbert's fine. Hey, and I just noticed. So everybody that is watching on X or Twitter, we can't see your comments, just so you know. So if you actually want to put a comment in, make sure you jump on the YouTube stream so we can actually see your questions. Because if you're posting anything on X or Twitter, we can't see it.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. And make sure you drop us a like and hit subscribe over here at the DD Fantasy Football YouTube channel. Thank you, Mitch. You know me, Mr. Tech. I can't start.
No, you play Justin Herbert. He's fine. He's a fine play. He's not a bad play anymore.
Well, they're going against the Cardinals defense, who have given up the fourth most points to quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Fire up Justin Herbert, and then, just have that, the fact that you're able to sit Godwin or Kelsey, I feel pretty good about your lineup if that's the case.
Yeah, well, we always go off and say, like, hey, beginning of the season, we're like, hey, Washington has the worst defense. No, they actually have like the third or fourth worst defense. The Cardinals are actually worse than they are. So anytime you can play guys against them, I'm doing, especially quarterbacks.
Our man Ollie, what's up?
Yep.
Pick 2. Herbert, Darnold, Dimes, or Cousins?
I'll go in order: Cousins, Darnold, Dimes, Herbert this week.
Say it again.
Cousins, Darnold, Dimes, Herbert.
I'm good with that. From Rye again, how do we feel about Mason today with the shoulder? How careful are you being deploying him? I would say, but it's not just the shoulder. It's the Kansas City Chiefs defense. And when you look at it from, running back production for fantasy purposes, they've been the best defense in the league. They don't give up that many fantasy points to running backs. So it's a combination of both. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if Jordan Mason finishes like running back 20 to 30.
That's my view too. I mean, is he a better play than, say, Bucky Irving this week or something like that, right? Like, I'm definitely going to start Hunt over him, Chase Brown over him. It's just one of those to where we've seen this with running backs is they'll come back with a shoulder injury and get popped and then they're out immediately because that pain just has to be crazy intense.
I mean, he tried to come back in last week, right? Here, I'm just to answer with a little bit more clarity. So looking at running backs, PPR, I would say like Achane, Hunt. I see Chase Brown in there. I think I actually would go Chase Brown over Mason today.
Yeah, I think it's fair.
I think I would do that. Maybe like if Brian Robinson isn't healthy, I'm going Eckler over him. I think that Bucky line is fair. But again, now we're talking about like running back 30-ish.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where we are. All right, Kyle. Tank Dell or Devontae Smith. We've talked about Tank a little bit going against the Green Bay Packers defense. Devontae Smith going against the New York Football Giants. The Giants, they're kind of middle of the pack in terms of really quarterback, running back, wide receiver points. They don't give up a ton of points at the tight end, even though I'm firing up Grant Calcaterra in several spots in 2 PPR formats for tight ends. And then Tank Dell going against the Green Bay Packers defense. I can't sit Devontae Smith personally.
Give me 1 second. I am using the Trinity tool right now to see what it looked like recently. You know what? Tank Dell last week, high end wide receiver 1. Devontae, mid wide receiver 2.
Share that window. Can you share that window?
Yeah, give me 1 second.
Since you have
it. Give me 1 second. Presents.
The plan is for Jets wide receiver Mike Williams to be active tonight versus the Steelers, I guess because he was in discussions possibly being traded. Let's see. Zoom in. I can't see that. I even got you on the big
screen. So the reason why I only did 1 week is because that's how much we have without Nico, in. Oh, did it wrong. So if you can't see it, Trinity Tool is showing that Tank Dell was a high-end wide receiver 1 last week. Trinity score of 7.65, points per game of 18.7.
And high-end wide receiver 1 in terms of his usage, which would lead to expected points. You see that trend line going across the screen, and going above that trend line, you're kind of outproducing expectation. Going below the trend line, those are the guys that typically, from a season-long or dynasty perspective, might be somebody that we're looking to acquire, especially if they're falling in that wide receiver 3 bucket or better. So if they're below that trend line, like George Pickens is just week after week after week behind or below that trend line.
Yep.
But some of these can be explained, and typically it goes to quarterback competence. Cortland Sutton is always high on the Trinity, but low on production. So that's kind of how you look at potential.
One of the best things you could do is sign up for DD Fantasy, get the Trinity tool, then hit this Trinity score report. Look at the 25 top wide receivers. These are the wide receivers you want in Dynasty, in redraft. You want to play them in DFS each week. These are the one you want to do your prop bets on. These are the guys that are going to consistently get you the most volume. You're going to look at the names. You're going to be like, yeah, every single one of them hit. It's like, yeah. So if you just follow the Trinity score, then you're going to be good to go. And it just takes a lot of the guesswork out if you just use this tool.
I like it. Man.
So I'm going Tank Dell to answer the question.
Okay. I've said it, like I like Tank a lot. Like I could see, I think realistically they're within like 2 or 3 PPR points today. I just hope that both of them are in like that 20 to 23 range and not 9 to 12 range. But again, with Mitch talking about the Trinity tool over there at ddfantasyfootball.com, use code Theory on the $14.99 tier, and it's $7.50 for the first month. $7. What is that? A large Starbucks?
Yeah, pretty much.
Somewhere around there. And then if you jump in the Discord, Mitch and I are active in there. So if you enjoy the content, if you enjoy what's going on, what we've been putting out on not just the weekly episode, but also winning the week, jump in. Yeah, I think you'll like it. All right. Well, so a little gap in the questions here.
And real quick for anyone who jumped in recently. So last week was the first week we did it. We went 3 for 3 on our underdog props. So we have it again. So the props that we like are Judy over 47.5 receiving yards, Jameson Williams over 49.5 receiving yards, and Tyreek over 56.5 receiving yards. Really like those.
We don't talk about unders here.
Dude, like here's the thing. I know unders are like, that's where the smart people put the money, right?
It's not fun though.
I don't like rooting against players to score. I don't enjoy it at all.
Yeah. All right, Mr. Drummer. Full PPR. Chase Brown, Brandon Ayuk, Kareem Hunt, Aaron Jones, Jordan Mason. A lot of the same names popping up over and over and over again here. And then I already see the next question involving Jordan Mason. Holy cow. All right, so who do we got here? Pick 2, Mitch.
Pick 2. Brown, Ayuk, Hunt. Now I have to go back to everything that I've said previously in the episode because we've talked about all of these guys many times. Hunt is going to be in my lineup, and then it's between Chase Brown and Brandon Ayuk for me. I'm going to go Brandon Ayuk this week.
I will too.
Yep.
So let's go Brandon Ayuk, Hunt out of those 5. And then just for context, how would you rank the other 3? And like this kills me because every question we've talked about, we're like anti-Aaron Jones. I love Aaron Jones in general.
It's gonna be Brown, then Mason, then Jones for me.
Okay. And I'm good with that too. And that kind of goes back to the Jordan Mason question from earlier, that like, where do we have him across the running backs? And I said right around that Chase Brown line. All right, Greg, can't get away from Jordan Mason. Jordan Mason or Darnell Mooney, full PPR. Give me Darnell Mooney.
Yeah, Mooney, same here.
All right. Sit 1. Diggs, Mike Evans, A.J. Brown, or Terry McLaurin. Terry McLaurin is going against Carolina. They're a bottom 5 defense against receivers. I'm playing Terry McLaurin. I can't sit A.J. Brown. So that leaves us by default, Stephon Diggs going against the Packers, or Mike Evans going against the Ravens. I'm going to sit Stephon Diggs.
Agreed. I'll do the exact same. I mean, this is a rough position to be in because I'm trying to start these guys every single week.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I feel so bad that you won the lottery. Now you have to pay taxes on it. Like, oh, woe is me. Like, Jax is just, this is a humble brag situation here, I think.
Yep.
Tired of these humble brag people. All right. So some of the running back duos we've talked about, Aaron Jones, Ty Chandler, kind of avoiding them. Not a huge fan of James Conner today against that Chargers defense.
Same.
We haven't had any Bucky, Rashad White, or Sean Tucker questions. Apparently, they're all going to get an early series and they're going to ride the hot hand.
Yeah, I don't think that's actually going to happen.
I just...
that is such coach speak. I mean, it's the most.
Do you think it's just? Do you think they go with Rashad to start?
Yeah, Rashad's going to start. Then Bucky's going to go in there, and then we're going to see a little bit of Tucker, and then White will be right back out there. So,
do you feel comfortable starting any of them?
Nope. I mean, but it's going to be a really high point scoring game. So, I mean, there's a lot of worse guys I probably have in lineups that I would prefer to start these guys if I had the option. But I mean, if I could start, say, like a Chase Brown over him, I'm going to start him over all of them.
Okay, I was actually going to go back to where do we have them compared to the Chase Brown and Jordan Mason line?
Yep. Chase Brown, I mean, below both of them.
Okay. Singletary Tracy, decent matchup against the Eagles. Maybe not quite a 50-50 split. I think I mentioned earlier, not quite probably a 60-40 split.
Close though. Yeah.
So I think Singletary based on volume is a decent play as a flex option, but Tracy, he could pop something off.
Yep.
So maybe the volume leans Singletary, but efficiency might lean Tracy. So we'll see how that goes. And then Sermon and Goodson, they have a good matchup against Miami. Talked about they're giving up the 4th most fantasy points to running backs with Anthony Richardson back in. Is the issue really going to be utilized in the passing game? But Sermon, it looked like he was running in like with concrete boots on.
Yeah, dude, he doesn't have. He's a play. He's not a play you want. I mean, if they're going to get to the goal line, are they really going to put it in Sermon's hand, or is Anthony Richardson just going to run it in? It's going to be Anthony Richardson.
Yeah. So both I'd be a little hesitant. And then we holy cow, this is just the timing.
I saw it because you were there on the sheet and I saw the comment.
The timing is incredible. Thank you, Dynasty Brew. But up next on my sheet was Nick Chubb against Cincinnati. An okay matchup. First game back. That offense is in shambles. Amari Cooper, he's out. I think it could be a nice David Njoku week. Yes. The Browns going against Cincinnati.
I completely agree.
Bengals giving up the 12th most fantasy points to tight ends. So Chubb or Judy in the flex. Let's say it's half PPR.
I'm going Judy. I want to give Chubb one more week. If this was next week, even not knowing what's going to happen this week, right? But Chubb gets another week in practice, another game in, I'd be going Chubb. But
just with the uncertainty, we can't
yeah, with
quite
his
get to a
first game
full
back,
Chubb.
I'm going to go Judy and then Chubb. Chubb's actually really far down my list. I have him on a lot of rosters. I'm not starting him in one spot this week.
Did you hear my joke?
No, sorry, I was busy talking, and then
I
you
said
interrupted.
because of the uncertainty, we can't quite get to a full Chubb quite yet.
I don't understand what you're implying there. This sunny morning in Utah, we try to keep things holy, to be honest with you. We try to not make lowbrow, Chubb jokes.
I've seen the stuff going on out there in Utah. You guys are maniacs out there. Deontay Johnson. It's always a good week to start Deontay Johnson. We like him.
It's always a good week. Yeah. You're going off the sheet. I was like, I don't see a question about Deontay.
No. So the Ayuk matchup, we've talked about it. Like, it's a little bit difficult. Pickens, tough. Pittman, Downs, kind of tough. But like, we were kind of meh on some of the questions that popped up, especially involving Pittman. Juju, hammy, but potentially decent matchup there. Amari Cooper changing teams and playing against the Titans. Like, that game, I think that could be like a game where Josh Allen has 2 rushing touchdowns and just throws for 1. So, like,
agreed. It's
a nice Josh Allen game, but it's not necessarily a game that you're looking to really involve the pass catchers.
Yep.
And then, running back like Ray Davis, James Cook, it kind of questionable here. Do back in here. Brandon Ayuk or Josh Downs full PPR?
Brandon Ayuk.
Yeah,
even
I would
if
go
Flacco
Ayuk.
was the starter, I would still go Brandon Ayuk this week.
Yeah, I'll go Ayuk. I still think Josh Downs is. We clarified that we are Downs with Downs.
Oh Lord.
I love the Jay Rich edit from the weekly episode of Dynasty Theory.
That was so funny.
Week. If you haven't watched it, but he was like, huh? Anyway, all right. Now my favorite position, tight end. Kraft. I don't like the matchup against Houston.
Yeah.
Grow up, dude.
Dude, you're the one making these comments. This is not on me at this point, okay?
Why? Because I said tight end? I'm sorry, that's the name.
You were talking about Chubb earlier. I'm just trying to keep things legit on Sunday, okay?
Dude, his name is Nick Chubb. I don't know what you want from me. All right. But Kraft, I'm hesitant on him.
Hold on, wait. I really like Kraft when the Packers are missing a wide receiver. At this point, they're not. So I play Jaden Reed, and then I play nobody else unless I have to.
Yeah, I think in one of the gross situations earlier, we talked about Christian Watson. He's got the boom potential.
Exactly.
We know that. But Kraft, I mean, even in 2 PPR, if there's other options, like, I don't think he really has the flex appeal this week.
Yep.
Zach Ertz, I think he does have a lot of appeal this week. And it might be a gross 5 for 40 situation.
I mean, it might be, yeah.
But in 2 PPR or 1.7, 5, or left the 5 off there. Or if you have to start 2, like Zach Ertz, I think it's going to be a very usable week. Dalton Schultz against Green Bay. Green Bay is giving up the 3rd most points to tight ends this year.
That's interesting. And I think, if I remember right, Schultz got 8 targets last week.
What's he looking like on DFS? Like, he can't be that expensive.
Give me one second. Go to the next player, and I'll pop him up.
Yeah, so Dalton Schultz, the Andrews likely situation, like, we still don't know. Like, Andrews has come on a little bit. I think it was last week he had his highest route participation of the season. So things are trending in the right direction. Likely after that week 1 pop-off has just been, very subpar. Did you find Schultz?
Yeah, so Schultz is right in between. Kyle Pitts is 4,500, Schultz is 4,200, and Njoku's 4,100, and Ertz is 3,900. So they're all right there.
So not really the value I was expecting.
No.
Okay. But yeah, good matchup there for Schultz. Nico Collins is out. So we'll see how that plays out. Colby Parkinson, it's a nice matchup. But again, we're kind of worried about the flow of that game.
Yep.
That could be a concern. And then I'm avoiding Pat Freiermuth You could go to the Russ narratives about throwing to the middle, even though Fields wasn't necessarily looking there either, and then getting him involved against that Jets defense. And a tougher matchup, the Grant Calcaterra situation against the New York Giants. But I think there's some potential for usage there. And I wouldn't be shocked if he found the end zone, to be honest with you.
Yeah, those last two are pretty tough because I always go with tight ends. If they're facing like a pretty decent pass rush, they're going to be in to block a little bit more than what they normally are against teams. If someone is playing the Falcons, then I'm willing to play any tight end because the Falcons can't pass rush, right? You're not worried about them chipping on the way out. When you're going against the Jets, the Steelers, those kind of guys, even the Giants have a really good pass rush this year. I'm more hesitant on the tight end plays.
You pulled some data here.
Yeah, so this is from PFF. For anyone that knows, so this is fantasy points per attempt out of 28 players. They have to have at least 140 passing attempts, so it knocks out the lowest guys. I would have quizzed you on this if you didn't pull it up, right? But it's so Sam Darnold is averaging the most fantasy points per attempt this year, and then it's Jordan Love, Baker Mayfield, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Jared Goff, Burrow, Purdy, Jaden Daniels, and CJ Stroud. The reason why I pull this up is some of these teams have pretty good rushing attacks, right? I mean, Lamar Jackson has Derrick Henry, who has 8 or 9 rushing touchdowns so far, and Lamar Jackson's Lamar Jackson. But if you could find the game,
didn't mean to interrupt, but yes, this does not include fantasy points from rushing attempts at all.
No,
this is only passing fantasy points.
Exactly. So if you could find the games to where you think there's going to be a lot of passing because the teams aren't going to run, just like the Minnesota and Detroit game is lighting up on paper. I mean, we could be wrong. We go in all of a sudden, Aaron Jones has a 60-yard run for a touchdown. Could happen in any game. But looking at it on paper, Sam Darnold's going to throw a lot this week. Jordan Love's going to throw a lot this week going against that Texans defense. Baker Mayfield's going to throw a lot because he can't run that well against the Ravens. And then Jared Goff is also extremely high if that rushing game doesn't take off. Brock Purdy is also high going against that Chiefs. So for me, I mean, we talked a lot about Sam Darnold this week, but if you're telling me he's passing a lot, passing points per attempt, he's the highest in the league. You're telling me he's going to get up to 40 attempts? That's a play.
Yeah, it's absolutely crazy to think. Again, like this is how crazy the season's been. And I always feel like it's said every single year, like this season's been so crazy. It's the craziest season ever. But Sam Darnold leading the way through 6 weeks at the most fantasy points per attempt, it really is mind-blowing. And then Baker Mayfield being in the top 3 after his highly coveted OC leaves town, goes to Carolina. And a lot of people expected him to kind of regress back to what we previously saw. And he's been even better, So the big thing here with like the Detroit, Minnesota game that we've talked about, like the worst thing that could happen, in my opinion, is like when you get one team off to an early lead and it really throws the flow of the game and the expectation and the game script out the window. And it just turns out how we weren't really thinking it would. Like, Detroit versus Dallas last week turned out that way very, very quickly.
Yeah, and it happened.
Like Amon-Ra, his day was saved on the last drive of the game.
Mm-hmm.
All right, from KOA, Dalton Kincaid or Tucker Kraft?
Dalton Kincaid for me.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
And I'm guessing, Brew, this is Derrick Henry. It's not going to be Hunter. Just guessing. I'm going to go Derrick Henry.
Yeah, he's been a difference-making back.
And we keep saying like, oh, it's just this year. And it could be next year too. But yeah, maybe he's not getting all the snaps he's getting this year, but his touchdown upside's huge next year if he ends up staying with the Ravens. So I'm completely happy having Derrick Henry there.
Jags beat the Patriots 32-16.
Beating the crap out of them. Dude, I'm so sad. I had a lot of props going with Demario Douglas.
I'm three targets.
Yeah. Well, and he had 2 catches the first 2 plays of the game. No, first 2 out of 3 plays of the game, he had 2 catches. Didn't get another one for the rest of the game.
Sorry. Hog Daddy, Hunter Henry, 8 catches, 92 yards. Tank
Ooh.
Bigsby going
Ooh.
absolutely off.
Yep.
Travis Etienne, I think we can. Whew,
Yeah.
it's a little rough out there in the streets. Isn't it
Was
funny
it
though?
in the
Like,
comments this last week on our weekly show where someone was going off about ETN, or was that 2 weeks ago? I just like to say I was right.
on the Start Sit show.
I don't remember which one. There's one of them to where someone was badgering me in the comments, and I just wait to see the football being played and just let it be on the field there.
Maybe it was my burner. You don't know.
It might have been.
Remember, if you're watching, head over to the
Yes.
Dynasty Theory. Oh my gosh,
That was
Dynasty Theory on the
that's
brain.
a throwback.
Yeah, from like a couple weeks ago. Head over to DD Fantasy Football YouTube channel. Like this video. I know a lot of people are watching on X right now. Like the video. Subscribe to the channel. If you want to jump in the DD Fantasy Football community and use all of the incredible tools and resources that are available, code Theory. That's going to get you 50% off the first month. If you jump in the GOAT tier, is it Theory Goat Theory? DM me if you're curious, but you get 50% off that. So there's a lot of great things going on, and I can tell you, if you jump in the community, you're going to stick around.
Yes, you will. Without a doubt, you're going to stay.
All right, so we got 8 minutes left here. Kookski, good luck to you this week as well. 8 minutes left. If we have any last questions, kind of ran through not just the start sit questions, but some of Mitch's underdog.
Yeah, I got to make some more because, like I said, I had Douglas in just about everything this week. So, yeah, we're going back to the drawing board again.
Back to the drawing board, and then talked about some of the positional groups here, the strengths and weaknesses of their opponents, and who we're looking at starting this week. 7 weeks in already. Like, we spend the entire off season. It's like, all right, can't wait for the season to get here. Can't wait. And then it's here, and it like that every single year. All right.
Like soon, like trade deadlines are going to happen in a few weeks. And I'm like, that's horrible.
Yep. So over at Dynasty Theory, we're like, all right, well, you can't trade, but all right, Darius Waddle with Tyler Huntley at quarterback, Tyler Lockett in what might be a fun game there against Atlanta, and Atlanta's been middle of the pack against receivers, or Nick Chubb, first game back. I would go Lockett, actually.
That's where I'm going to. I'm waiting a week on Chubb. I like Waddle. Waddle had the bye. They have McDaniel at coach, and he's one of the coaches that will figure things out. I'm not going to go Lockett. I'm going to go Waddle. I have Mike McDaniel's going to come out. They're going to go gangbusters, and that Miami offense is going to be fine.
I don't know. Dynasty Brew, we appreciate you, man. And then he's Judy or I'm going to guess Christian Watson.
Let's go both just for the fun of it, because it's Judy for sure over Christian Watson for me. What if it is Deshaun Watson? This is a legit question. Let's go +4, -2 scoring.
Okay, like we say this every week with Deshaun Watson, but against the Bengals defense, who have given up the 6th most fantasy points to quarterbacks this year, this is a get-right game opportunity.
No, it's not.
Even though they just traded Amari Cooper, but they weren't really meshing it anyway. So it's like, okay, they lost him. Maybe Amari Cooper was the problem here, Mitch. Maybe we remove him from the equation. It's addition by subtraction. Deshaun Watson comes out, drops 350 yards and 4 touchdowns on the Bengals defense. All of that going to David Njoku and Jerry Jeudy. But +4 scoring. No, I would go Watson still. Deshaun Watson.
No, you're good. You're good. I'm just going to clip this whole thing and only show your face talking about how good Deshaun Watson's going to be for the last 45 seconds. That's just going to be what I post once a week on Twitter or X. Sorry.
Appreciate you, Alex. Happy Sunday to you as well. And then Ayuk or JSN PPR, an extra half point for first down.
Ooh.
The extra half point for first down is kind of intriguing here.
It does. I think Ayuk is a great play this week, so I'm going to go there. I love JSN this week as well. I think he's definitely going to get 6 catches, 80 yards, something like that. But Brandon Ayuk can be the guy that gets you 8 for 150 is the difference, right? I just don't see that happening with JSN. So Brandon Ayuk for me.
I'll go Ayuk here too. Cliff says the Cleveland fans need to riot.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
just
rough.
they have
Dude, as a
really-
Lions fan, I've been there. I get it. There could be better things ahead. Who knows? There could not.
How cheap? Well, if there are any Deshaun Watson like
Mhm.
helmets or things on pristine auction, how cheap do you think they're going for right now?
They're going to be the free giveaways. They're going to.
We will pay
those will be
you.
in the mystery box. So when they do like the mystery box thing, it's going to be full of Deshaun Watson, just like a Jackie Youngblood right there.
Hey, he's a Hall of Famer though, baby.
Yes.
Deshaun
Watson, not
I
a
was
Hall of
so
Famer.
upset when I got that in that mystery box,
It
and it was Dan was like, "JB, he's a Hall of Famer." I was like, I don't care.
And
There were all these great guys in there, and I got Jack Youngblood.
Yep.
That's all right. He's still on the shelf. He still made it. All right. It looks like we're out of questions. We appreciate everybody that tunes in each and every week. Mitch and I are here every single Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern time, only on the DD Fantasy Football YouTube channel. And then Mitch, Dan, and myself every week, we are on Dynasty Theory, talking about the dynasty landscape, market, and efficiencies. So we got something for dynasty managers and those that don't play dynasty as well. So something for everybody. And then make sure you use code Theory. I'm telling you, just go over to DD Fantasy. I know Ray does not give like the 50% off stuff often. So this is a great opportunity. Code Theory, check it out. And there's so much exclusive content in the DD Discord. We've had people in there say they don't have enough time to listen to all the content.
Yes.
That's a problem you want to have. That is exactly what you want to have. Anyway, good luck in week 7 for Mitch Sorensen. I'm John Bauer. Hopefully, we're all winning the